I want to learn a little bit more about Ene. So, Ene, I know you have had many chapters in your life, but one of the biggest chapters was when you took the decision to leave the corporate world and start your own business. So you had created already a beautiful family, and of course invested a lot in your education. And from the moment that you think, okay, great, I found a great job, I kind of touched the glass ceiling. Now I should rest, I should relax. But no, that's not the case. So what happened that you decided to start again?
Thank you, Mirela. Hello, ladies. Hello, Mirela. I'm so excited to be here. Let me first of all just say thank you. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know where you are in the world. Mirela, that's a great question. What happened? I had a successful corporate career, as you said, of almost 3 decades. And as I built the corporate dream, as I lived the corporate life, I didn't realize, due to a lack of self-awareness, self-assessment even, I didn't realize when the dream came to an end. What I do know is that for a long time there was a stirring in my belly. There were voices in my head. There were taps on my shoulder telling me that there is more to my life than what I had allowed myself to be, to do, to have, even though my life was good. And actually, therein lies the problem. Because life was good, I felt guilty, I felt greedy, I felt selfish, because I kept comparing myself to other people. Mistake number one. It wasn't until one day when, as you rightly asked me, when life forced me to get out of my own way, when in a meeting at work, as a senior business leader was literally pouring out his anger at me and shouting, saying, this is ridiculous. And this is, I want an answer, because I had dared to say that we needed more time to assess a proposal that he'd put forward. And I remember, Mirela, that as his voice got louder and louder with every word that came at me, I remember that my hands started to shake, and I had to hold on to the edges of the table to steady myself, and beads of sweat dripped down my face. And I remember, Mirela, I remember the exact moment when the switch happened, because I looked out of the window of this small room, wondering how a 30-year corporate career had come to this. And I saw all my worldly achievements literally flash by in front of my eyes across this window. And then I looked back into the room, all eyes were looking at me, waiting for a response. And I remember very clearly that I also saw from the other side of my brain, of my eyes, I saw my pillow that I had cried into yet again that morning, as I said, there's got to be more to my life than this.
That's very interesting, because sometimes we wait to touch that down dark zone, because we just wait for things to come worse, or maybe to have a breakthrough or a big calling or a big pain or a big struggle, when there comes a moment we say, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. So why do we push it so far? Is it something that maybe you have found the formula that we don't need to wait to finish the journey to the end of the end in order to start a new journey? Or what is your perspective?
I think it's a combination of lots of different things. I think it's a lack of self-awareness, like I said before, a lack of really identifying who we are, going back to our core to know who we are. It's also a lack of self-trust, self-belief. And as you rightly say, we have reached a ceiling that we have imposed on ourselves typically. And we think, who am I to possibly want more? But we don't know that actually, if we feel that there's more, it's because
so you're saying when we have the basic, when we meet the basic needs, when we have enough to live, to survive, we do not seek for more. I say, I'm good. Yes, I got more than my mother had, or I got more than my neighbors had. And we compare ourselves maybe with others. We don't compare ourselves with the future self, with the potential that we can have and we can reach. So, but I must say, honestly, your career is very impressive, even to reach these top companies and to manage to grow like one step at a time on your own. It's amazing as a woman in a very big competitive perspective, culture, country, industry. It's a lot. So it's in one side, maybe, of course, you have your voice saying, you know what, Ene, you must be proud. You have done a lot. You remember when you were a little girl, you had to work really hard and pass all these exams and find your first job. Be quiet. You're good. You're good. Don't seek for more. And then the other voice, what was the other voice trying to say?
Other voice was saying to me that actually it would be selfish of me if I didn't step to my more. Because here's the thing, Mirela, what we may not realize is that by us being all that we can be, we're actually inspiring other people to also be all that they can be. We don't always realize that. It's not even about us, Mirela. It's about leaving a footprint, leaving a mark on the world and giving other people implicit permission to be all that they can be.
Yeah, that's so true. First of all, we have to give ourselves the permission, because many times I have realized that we are the one that we put ourselves into a cage, into a prison, and most of the time we punish ourselves for things that probably all the time think it could be better. What if I would do this way? Or listening to what other people tell us who we are, and giving them the permission to tell us how much we can do and what is our limit. So we have, especially knowing you, and now I've seen you in quite a few commitments and communities, speaking and also surrounding ourselves with like-minded women. I can see that we are breaking these barriers, we are breaking these boundaries, we are expanding our beliefs, we are not limiting ourselves anymore. But still, one of my favorite things that I've heard from you is like, once you break that let's say breakdown, and you see that there is so much more out there, and you test it and you go through it and you experience it, then you are thinking about others. And then you are thinking, oh my God, this world is no limit, is abundant. There is no roof. Sky is the limit. So how about I go back and I tell the others, hey, darling, yes, you have achieved a lot, but I'm telling you, there is more. So how did you come with this for?
Yeah. So Mirela, my mission, as I often say, is to go back and get the others. And the reason why this is my mission is because I know that my story is a blueprint, a weapon that can be thrown back to other women who are living lives where they know that in spite of whatever they may have achieved, they have these stirrings in their belly. And all they need is somebody to throw them a lifeline to say, I've been there, I've done it, and so can you. So my mission is to go back and get the others. I'm thinking of those women who are going to jobs every day, those women who are running businesses every day, but they're saying to themselves, there's more than I can do than what I have allowed myself to do so far.
But some women that may be sitting there and listening this, because we're going to broadcast this message, maybe they're thinking, yes, and it's been easy for you, but you don't know my circumstances. You don't know my battles. You don't know my fights every day. You don't know my dramas. You can't talk on my name because it's really hard. So what would you say to this woman?
I'll say two things. I'll say, first of all, look to the end of your life. This is a question I always like to ask my ladies. Look to the end of your life and then look back and think about what regrets you would have if today were the end of your life. Because here's the thing, Mirela, we all have challenges. There's nobody on earth I know who doesn't have challenges. We've all had to overcome challenges in one form or another. It's about who we get to be as we overcome those challenges. And Mirela, oh my God, it's about who we get to serve at the other end of the challenges. That's the beauty. So I would say, my darling, your challenge is literally your stepping stone to where you're going, so that you too can throw a lifeline back to others and live with no regrets. That's what I would say, Mirela.
Wow, that's powerful, Ene. And I feel you, I hear you, I can see the fire inside you, because you cannot just sit there and do nothing, because very easy you can say, and I know your life, and I'm telling you, whoever is listening to this, Ene doesn't need to bother to get out of the house, because she already, if it comes to, let's say, family commitment or financial commitment, she has established her life. But she is a woman in a mission. She can't have peace, keeping this message deep inside her, because she knows that when it comes to the end of the journey, and asking herself, okay, so what have I done? What is my legacy? Have I changed somebody's life? First, yes, we have to take charge of changing our life. But once we change our life, once we do something to get ourselves out of the dark zone, out of the stagnation zone, out of the limited zone, then of course, how we leave a legacy is, how do we help others do the same? Because there is a way for everybody. So Ene, now tell me a little bit more. I know you're going to put yourself into a big PowerPoint presentation, and we can't wait for that. But one more question, which I want to ask before we go there, is like, if you, do you think would be, if you would ask yourself, your younger self, would it be possible to have started the next chapter earlier? Was it possible that I could realize that I could write my chapter myself with my hand anytime, and I can change, and I can decide, and I can rule, and I can control, and I can become the leader and the owner of my life? So what would be your formula, or your secret to share for people to not wait forever to take that decision, to not wait for so long, to not live in that fear of not moving, of being in that uncertainty that, what if it goes wrong? What other people are going to say? What if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work? So what is your answer?
Great question, Mirela. So I believe that we all have the power to change our lives, to write our next chapter. Is it easy? The honest answer is no. Is it worth it? I believe the answer is, oh yes. We have the power. Now let me answer specifically about myself. I don't regret my journey. I don't regret my 30 years in corporate. Why? Because my 30 years in corporate is what gives me the audacity to speak to another woman who spent 30 years in corporate. If I hadn't had that, I wouldn't be able to go back and get her. So I don't regret that. Our experience, the point I'm trying to make is, whatever experience you have, our experience is what gives us the receipts to say, I've done this, I can help you, right? So I believe in never regretting anything. I believe in trusting the process, trusting myself. I believe in forgiving myself. And I think you mentioned you mentioned a little 5-year-old version of me. I think all our 5-year-old versions have forgiven us. The question I want to ask is, have we forgiven ourselves?
Yeah.
That actually is my question.
Yeah.
Have we forgiven ourselves?
That's amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So it's very interesting. You reminded me, wow, powerful. You reminded me a very powerful expression about healing. And it says, healing can be hard when your inner child wants love, when your teenager self wants revenge, and when your present self wants peace. So I completely resonate with you when you say yes, as a 5 years old child. Yes, you have been maybe seeking for love, seeking for compassion, seeking for attention, and many people, when they go back trying to find it, they feel like, yes, but it took so long for me to find the source of love. And now at the present time, all we want is peace. But you're saying that in order for us to find that peace, we have to forgive ourselves, because that 5 years old child has already forgiven us.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mirela. And a lot of what I do actually, I talk about writing our next chapter. A lot of what I do is actually also focused on forgiveness, on healing, on letting go, on releasing, and then moving forward. Because we can't really move forward if we haven't made peace with our past.
Yeah, amazing, powerful. Well, thank you so much, Ene. I always get inspired with you.